Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. BlogTalk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing. Share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naimah Latif, every morning at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naimah Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nanyade. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Suson Essentials on the Female Solution BlogTalk radio show. Learn how to help your body and yourself feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jodi Suson. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Well, good morning, everybody. And let's see what we got here. We are live, and I'm having technology issues. So here we go. There we go. Hello, everybody. So this is Jodi Suson with Suson Essentials, and today we are going to be talking about your personal energy. And I'm joined today by Naimah Latif, our executive producer, and Rajai Kaldani, who is an expert in energy-based healing. And before I bring them on board, I just want to make sure that if you want to call in today, that you know to dial 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak, either to me, Rajai, or Naima. You can also watch us on YouTube live right now and or Facebook live right now. And of course, we're on the Female Solution BlogTalk Radio. One of the most important things that I do for myself for energy work is listen to specific to music at specific frequencies. So to get started, what I want to do is at least play some music for you. And I want to also let you know where to get it before I bring everybody else on board. So you go to YouTube and you go to Naima, I see you. Thank you. And we're going to bring on Naima and Rajai in a minute. But we just I want to show you guys some music real quick. And I'm actually wondering how I do that. So why don't I actually bring them on board and we can start talking and I can show you the music in a minute. So let's do that. There we go. So good morning, everybody.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
Rising. How are you?
Hi. You look just radiant, Naima. How was Florida?
Oh, fantastic. I'm still feeling the vibrations of that wonderful Florida air and the beautiful nature, the trees, the plants, everything. It just was wonderful. So I'm still radiating.
I can see that. See it over here. See, this is what we're talking about, energy, okay?
Yes.
And Rajai, how are you, doll?
I'm amazing. I'm doing fantastically well. And Naima, I could definitely relate. I was in Florida for about 3 weeks during that polar vortex, so I missed all that fun stuff. So I could definitely relate to where you're coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would love to, last time we all spoke, we were talking about energy-based healing. We showed a few videos. And if for some, I'm using a new device today, so I'm having a struggle in showing people where to find this. But I can play the video, but it just you'll be able to hear it, but you won't be able to see it. But if you go to 432, you go to YouTube and you type in 432HZ, okay? And I'll just play one right now. And you can see it's very soft. This is a great way to start your morning. The frequency 432 hertz creates harmony in the frontal lobe. Probably should have slept to this last night, just saying.
And what was that? 483HZ?
So it's 432.
432.
HZ, and I'll put this in the comments. So 432 HZ music.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
On YouTube.
The one that's 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds.
So there are probably thousands and thousands and thousands of options. And so, that gives a listening audience something to kind of get a feel for. But there's binaural beats. There's there's a lot that we're going to be sharing about in the future about Dr. Frank Lawless, who has, I just found out over the weekend on iTunes, a whole list of music, 99 cents, and he'll be on the show on March 23rd. And he does a lot of work with keeping the brain calm and helping to reset the brain for addictions and things like that. And he uses energy, you know. So, but so Raj, let's go to you, shall we? And tell us a little bit about the ways you like to be able to balance and center using energy, and when that comes up for you, you know, or it may not come up for you now, but I know, you know, for all of us, it's come up at some point. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, luckily, we have lots of tools at our disposal. The 432 hertz frequency music is absolutely amazing. And, you know, when I listen to it, I definitely feel a change in my body. My body responds to it. And I think that's a very powerful tool. But I also have other tools. Breath work is an amazing way to help ground and center and just kind of raise that vibration. But also, you know, being conscientious of your thoughts and your feelings, controlling those, right? Because we all know that all that affects our physical body. Things like stress management is huge, but we also have access to tools. So we have vibrational tools, things like tuning forks. We also have medical devices that are frequency based. So I've been working with a couple devices for about 5 years now, and got some more in the pipeline. But everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, and we can utilize frequency to bioresonate and bring us back into homeostasis and the balance, utilizing frequency. And we live in a vibrational field. And so everything is vibration, everything is energy, including our thoughts, our emotions, the food that we eat. Breath is really one of the most important pieces of that, because breath is life, right? And we can utilize the breath to calm ourselves. We could utilize the breath to alkalize our body just by bringing in more oxygen. And all of it really comes down to managing your own energy. And I think we are in that new age. We're entering into that new kind of quantum age of where we have access to tools that we've never had before. And now we could utilize those tools like the energy frequency based devices that help us to kind of assist us when we need a little extra help. And oftentimes we do, because we live in a stressful environment, stressful lifestyle. We're not getting what we need in terms of nourishment from our food and our supplementation. So we need all the help we can get. But luckily, we have tools that can help us along the way.
Well, and it's not just, I mean, I agree. We're definitely not getting nourishment from our food supply. We depleted our soil. I mean, that's just a whole nother conversation, which we'll probably have at the end of the month, quite frankly. We've depleted the nutrients in our soil, so we're not being nourished there by our food supply. And then the question is, are we being nourished by the people in our lives?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, you know, who we surround ourselves with is very, very important. And, you know, I forget the exact saying, but I think it's something like, show me who your top 5 friends are, and I'll show you who you are, right? Or what kind of, you know, what kind of potential you have in terms of like what you could actually do. You know, if you're living in the gutter, guess what? Or people that are in the gutter, then that's where you're going to be, right? If you surround yourself with inspirational people that are going places, then that helps you raise your game, right? Because your vibration is raised just by being around those people. And that's, you know, that's not a secret. I mean, it's common sense. You know, if you're around people that are thinking and acting in ways that are not serving your higher self, you're not serving your own higher self by being around those people.
Yeah, you're the company that you keep.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, I think that's an age-old saying, isn't it, Naima?
Oh, absolutely. You know who you are by the company you keep.
True.
And people who are on a higher vibration, they're not going to keep holding on to somebody who's always negative, because they don't want their energy to go down. They don't want their frequency to go down. They don't want to be in the environment that lowers them to a level that they don't want to be. So you find yourself, as you raise your own vibration, there are going to be certain people who eliminate themselves from your life, or that you eliminate them simply because you choose not to be in their presence. And when you realize, when you can feel yourself feeling bad in someone's presence consistently, whether it's their conversation's always negative, or they always have some negative observation about you to make you feel bad, or, you know, whatever it is, at some point you realize this person is not good for me. And
or they retaliate all the time, right? Like, what about those people, Naima, that retaliate? Like, if you give constructive feedback and the response is retaliation, right?
Well, then, you know, people who are feeling or fearing that they're inadequate, and that's what they're feeling about themselves, everything they hear, even if it's constructive, they will see it as destructive, because it's confirming a fear that they have about their own inadequacy. None of us are inadequate. All of us are perfect just as we are. But there are things that we can do to enhance our growth toward where we want to go. And if someone is helping us by showing us or giving us some suggestions, if we have healthy self-esteem, we can hear it as suggestions and not as confirmation of our inadequacy. But if inside you're feeling I am inadequate, then even if someone says, "Oh, you have a tag showing in the back of your shirt," we'll hear that as a criticism or ridicule. No, it's not. It's just you got a tag. So just stick it.
It's a tag.
Yeah, it's a tag. You know, it doesn't mean you're stupid. You don't know how to dress yourself. It's just, you know, but how you feel about yourself is always going to determine how you respond to the things in your life. And there's definitely a difference between constructive observations by people who love you and mean the best for you, and people who are expressing their own lack of self-worth, therefore they want to cut you down so that they can feel that they're better than you. There's totally different thing, totally different energy, because the energy of love is felt. You know, when you're loving and kind, then you're able to say things in such a way that does not diminish a person's sense of self-worth. You know, there's a lot different in saying, well, you know, let's do some healthier eating, and then we can maybe take a walk and we'll both feel better, as opposed to, you know, you sure are getting fat. You need to do something about that. You know, I mean, it could be the same situation.
they gained the COVID-19.
Yeah, I mean, we all gain a little bit just from being in the house eating all the time. But, you know, there's one thing that and after the break, I'll show you a book that I've been reading. It's just been so inspirational. And I hope to have this author on one of our shows. And his name is Elliot Jackson. And, you know, of course, he's produced some wonderful channeled books. And one of them is From God to You, Absolute Truth. And it's just been so eye-opening, and understanding that everything is vibration. Everything is alive. And we're influencing everything with our own energy. And so the molecules in our body are being affected all the time. Like Rod is talking about, you know, the sound is vibration. So you can have sound that is affecting your body and healing your body. You can have sound that is literally hurting the cells in your body. And you can have words that people are saying that are literally making you sick, because they're creating a negative energy. Just like someone can say something wonderful, such as, "I love you, you're beautiful." Just hearing that enhances your health. So words have vibration. Just like somebody saying, "I hate you, you're stupid." That has an energy, a vibration. It affects the cells in your body, because all of us are vibrating molecules and we're affecting each other. Sound, energy, vibration. And so when a person sings a beautiful song, it can have a healing effect on your body, on the cells in your body. So knowing this, we have to be conscious of what we say and how we say it, the tone with which we say it, because we can make someone well, or we can literally make them sick.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm writing a book on words, and I really delve into the meaning of each word and how they impact us. And I talk about tone. And Dr. Frank Lawless had said to me, which it will be quoted in the book because I loved it, that words are nothing more than just vibrations in the air.
Yes, yes.
And so when we start to own our own vibration and how our vibration plays or dances with someone else's vibration, and is it a healthy dance or not a healthy dance, and are we willing to look at our own vibration so that we can shift and be a little bit of a chameleon. Not that you should be meeting, and when I talk about being a chameleon, it's not about changing who you are, but changing to the environment to rise up. You don't want to change the environment to come down, but you might want to consider changing to the environment to rise up.
Right, right.
Raj, you look like you have something to say.
No, I agree 100% with you guys, but maybe you could speak on this, Jodi, because you are an energy healer, and going back to how energy interplays with each other, like our different people's energies. Now, you've heard of this, right? Where as a healer, or many times, a lot of times when someone is doing a healing, right, and they're working on somebody, so the healer might come in with a much higher vibration than the person being worked on. So your vibration might be here, their vibration here, it might be down here, but you have to kind of meet them at some point. So as you work on that person, maybe your vibration kind of comes down to where you can resonate better with that person, and it brings them up a bit. But there's a transmission of energy, and oftentimes, if the healer is not grounding and clearing properly, they take on some of the attributes or some of the conditions that the person being worked on was experiencing or dealing with, that you kind of, because you've almost kind of come down a bit, where you match a little bit more, and there's a transmission of that energy that for some healers, if they don't know how to properly clear that energy and ground, take on the illnesses or the conditions of the people that they're working on, right?
Yeah, I learned about that years ago.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know that there's anything more important than that, quite frankly. And I'd like to first of all, thank you for bringing that up. And I think we should teach the listening and the watching audience how to protect their energy. I'm really grateful that there's a lot of other healers out there who have taught me all their different ways of protecting their energy. One was an acupuncturist, another one's a doctor of chiropractic. And, acupuncturists, chiropractors, they're healers and they work with energy. So I know that they teach them this in school, because if like what Raj is saying, if a chiropractor is working on someone and they come in with a back problem, the person walking out doesn't have the back problem anymore, but the energy shifted over.
Right.
So, why don't we take a minute? We're not going to cover all this before commercial break, but let's take a step-by-step approach. And let's teach people how to protect their energy at home without any device, right? I mean, we have devices that do this too. Raj and I can talk about that later. But if you want to protect your energy, so first thing is imagine that actually the first thing is I always say call in your spirit guides, right? And we all have spirit guides. I happen to have names for mine because I met them. And I'm grateful to a friend of mine who guided me on that path. Anybody looking to meet their spirit guide should call me and I will connect you. Not what I do. So, I bring in my spirit guides, and I'm just going to go through this, and my eyes are going to be closed. I bring in my spirit guides, and I'm going to say, Amo, Abel, all my spirit guides, God, Jesus, please come in. And I can feel their energy in my chest. I can feel in my heart chakra. And I can feel their energy. Now, the energy for me is very specific. It's a beautiful, strong, yet peaceful energy. You can feel the peace in your heart. And it's very distinctive. You will not be confused. And then you ask them to support you in protecting your energy. So what I'm going to do is just go through that. So spirit guides, please help me in protecting my energy. I'm going to put a bubble around my body. Please help put a huge bubble around my body and make it go opaque. I want it to be opaque white, opaque blue, opaque gold and purple. And then I want you to push it out 50 million feet to keep my whole energy field protected. Some people just do 50 feet. I like to push it out there because I'm energy sensitive. So for the listening audience, you should start to feel a little bit of a raise of your vibration because you're not feeling all the energy from the rest of the universe. So now your energy is only your own. So let's do that again. We're going to call in our spirit guides. Feel their love in your heart chakra, their energy, their strength. And please put a bubble of protection around me. Choose the color that you like. I use all the colors. Don't choose black opaque, only because that's the color, in my opinion, of the other side. So go with purple, blue, gold, white opaque, and keep yourself energetically protected and surrounded by God's light. Surround yourself by God's light. And push that bubble out 50 million feet and feel the release of any energy. So the next part that we can do for the next couple minutes is grounding. And I know there's a good portion of the listening audience that knows how to ground, but probably a lot of people don't. And it's so easy. So find yourself a comfortable place. You could be standing or sitting. And what you want to do is have your feet flat on the floor. Easy to do if you're standing. Little energy healer joke. And you want to pretend like your legs and your feet are trunks of a tree. And those trunks have roots. And so those roots are going to dig down deep into the Earth's atmosphere. And you just keep on growing those roots. Keep them growing further and further down. And now feel your arms and your hands. And your hands are now going to extend and become roots, and they're going to go into the ground. And they're going to just keep on twirling and going deeper and deeper into the Earth's atmosphere. And you should start to feel really solid and firm. And now breathe in deep through your nose to get the oxygen to your brain, and hold and release. You can release the air through your mouth or your nose. If you're congested, I get it, been there, I have a solution another time. But breathe in through your nose and out. So 1, 2, 3. Breathe in again. And then just go back to the Earth's atmosphere and check out those roots. Make sure they're deeply rooted into the Earth. And recenter and feel the strength in your heart chakra. And open your eyes and feel God's light. Those are just 2 ways to help with your energy. And we're at 7:31. So we're gonna abruptly go to a commercial break. Give me 1 second here. Here. Let's see.
Suson Essentials leads you to wellness by giving you access to more than 20,000 sustainably produced nutritional products delivered direct to your door.
So,
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPI Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health? Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Viyahta. Jodi Suson of Suson Essentials is certified by the #1 functional medicine doctor on plant-based healing essential oils, which are revolutionizing the way we manage our well-being. Schedule today to take control of your health.
Okay, we are back. You know, that last commercial was about essential oils, and essential oils, holy cow, saved my life. People, and by the way, not all oils are created equal. So the important part is knowing how to source your oils. And then the other part is to know how to use your oils to protect your energy. Okay. And so one of the blends that I created, well, I didn't create the blend. I mean, just put them together. I mean, someone else told me about it, was using tea tree or melaleuca oil, which is for creating energetic boundaries. And I apply it topically right to my head. So, and actually, I'll use this one, but it's in a roller ball. I just put in tea tree oil. But when you're around people who are crossing boundaries and creating unhealthy boundaries, which is lowering your vibrational level, it's also important to add basil, which is renewal. So you put the two together, basil, tea tree, maybe 10 drops of each in a roller ball, along with coconut oil. And you just apply it to the top of your head. Now, this one's not that. I just got Console. But the interesting thing about Console, and you don't have to get Console, you can make up your own. Again, the two key ingredients are, and I've talked about this before, are rose oil and patchouli, because it takes you out of fight or flight in about 20 to 22 seconds. You actually apply it to the palm of your hand and you breathe in, and it gets into your bloodstream in 30 seconds. So now I want to go back to what I said just a minute ago about how do you source your oils. If you don't know, and what I mean by sourcing your oils, what I mean is that are the oils produced in a way that are grown without chemicals which are synthetic and harmful to the human body, to your pet's body, like all that. And by the way, don't ever use tea tree on your pet or melaleuca on your pet. Very toxic for them. But if you don't know how these oils are being sourced, you could be doing the direct opposite of what you intend to achieve. So understand that, let me see something. It says the audio, Raj, you said the audio is still a little low.
You sound good now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, just raise the volume on your voice. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Dolly.
But I have a question regarding, I guess, cleansing your aura. Because I think in terms of, say, if you've ever gone into a bar and it's smoky and everything. And then when you come out, your hair, your clothes, everything smells like cigarette smoke. And you know that you can't get rid of that smell unless you take a shower. I mean, you have to wash your hair, you have to, wash all of that off. So when you are in a negative environment where maybe people have been cursing, fighting, all kinds of things, and it's changed your whole mood, how do you cleanse yourself of that energy? Is there a thing to do? Is there, music you can listen to, or is there, scents you can smell? I mean, how do you literally clean your aura of that negative energy that you've absorbed by being in the presence of those people?
So great question. I'm going to answer that. I'm also going to let Raj answer that as well. And I'm going to let Raj take the Healy answer. I'll give you the oil answer. Mm-hmm. So there's an oil, a blend called On Guard, Guard, On Guard. So On Guard has a variety of uses, and the general population who is familiar with On Guard, which is by doTERRA essential oils, pretty much knows that it's great for supporting your immune system, which I love. It's got clove in it, eucalyptus, wild orange, things like that, cinnamon, right? And so, but think about what it's named. On guard.
On guard.
Guard.
Yes.
So guarding your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come out of a situation and let's say I don't have access to music, I have it in a spray bottle and I just spray my entire body, boom, fast. It raises my vibrational level, especially with the wild orange in there. The other thing is turn on the radio, or not the radio, YouTube. Get 432 hertz music going, or there's also 528, which is for love. So that's a really good way. And then I'm going to ask Raj, we actually have protection programs. And yes, take a shower, by the way.
And take a shower.
So a cold shower actually is really helpful. And doTERRA has, and don't get me wrong, I have probably 5 or 6 different shampoos that I use. But the reason I love doTERRA shampoo, and I'm not trying to actively sell this, so, don't feel obligated or not selling you, I'm just sharing. It's like taking a shower in a garden. Yeah. So by the time you come out, you're like, score. Dance, right? But let's say you can't get into the shower and you own a Healy. Raj, talk about the energy protection programs on Healy, would you?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Sure.
Yes. So I definitely second you on the shower deal, because the shower is a great way to just clear energy off the body. But you may not always have the ability just to go jump in the shower. You might about. Luckily,
yeah.
Right. Luckily, we have an amazing tool. This is actually a quantum frequency device that allows us to work with people remotely. There you go. Yeah. Wow. And
use Naima.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing tool. And what I love about it, first of all, it's portable, so you can take it wherever you're going, right? So now you can be on the go. You might be in an airport or wherever you might be. You can have that in your pocket or easily accessible to you. And it's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of programs. And so you can run programs to help with your bioenergetic field, to support your aura, to support your mental balance, right? Because that is part of it, right? Is getting you in the right emotional state. And I've worked with a lot of people who, what I hear time and time and time again, that's kind of just shocking to me every time I hear it, is how grounded and how just centered and emotionally balanced I feel, just because I've been using this microcurrent frequency-based device. And what it does is it helps to tune our body and bring it back into homeostasis and balance, utilizing specific frequencies that have been known to support certain systems within the body. And it's a beautiful age that we're in, because now we have these powerful tools that we can tap into, we can utilize when we don't necessarily need to know how all of it works, right? I tell people it's frequencies for dummies, and it, you know, gives people access to some really, really powerful tools that can help you bring you back into balance. We have protection programs that help to support your body when you're around things like Wi-Fi and 5G, these things that disrupt our systems and put stress on our systems, that all kind of pile on and reduce our immunity, our body's ability to deal with issues that we are trying to deal with. So if we give our bodies that little extra oomph, you know, get that bioresonance going and get that balance back, then our bodies can deal with things much better. So yeah, I mean, I just love the fact that we have these tools, and they're actually accessible and affordable. So.
Well, right. And so we have scrolling. I'm actually doing a special where for $49.99 you can actually get a Healy session. And the Healy sessions can be as long as 60 minutes. And depending on what the resonance, when it does the analysis, it may show that you only need 23 minutes. You know, it just depends, maybe 5. I actually did Healy on my tower garden yesterday and on my arrow garden, because it needed some love too, and some homeostasis. One of the other things, and I didn't even think about it, but I was sitting on it, is my energy protection pillows. And so I bought my original energy protection pillow from a company that sells them for like $80. And they're made with rare earth minerals, and one of the minerals was like shungite, which is known to protect your body from electromagnetic frequencies. And I decided that $80 was a little expensive. And I one of my goals is to make health affordable, you know, and this is simple. You just put it in your purse or your fanny pack, because I'm a fanny pack wearer. No comments from the peanut gallery, okay? But I love my fanny pack.
Very, very convenient. Yeah.
It really is. And because I don't want my phone in my pelvic area.
That's the only reason why I stopped wearing my fanny pack, because I was concerned about having my phone there. Yeah.
Right. Well, now I put this between the phone and the body.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but here's the thing. I mean, you guys listening audience, be very careful about how close you put that phone to your body. Right. And a lot of people I know are still wearing those are they called AirPods, right? Okay. So, meaning they're wireless.
I see that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means that's heating up your brain.
Ooh. Has anybody done any studies on the long-term effects of that, or are we still waiting to
we're not.
happens 20 years from now?
No. We're not waiting. Everybody wants information. Have them just, reach out to me at Jodi at SusonEssentials.com. Actually, or follow me on Facebook, leave me a message there, or LinkedIn. Don't do Instagram. I never see it. YouTube. Sorry.
Can I add something to that?
Oh, please. I mean, there's so much more to add. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. So I've become a little bit more sensitive to electrosmog and Wi-Fi. And I can give a couple examples. So like I actually, a couple years back, I bought a new car, and not really at the time, I wasn't really all that aware, or just wasn't thinking. But it's got hotspot, it's got Wi-Fi, it was like crazy, like what it's got in there. And what I started to notice is every time I was in my car, I just felt completely drained. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on in here? And I started to notice a pattern that I was like, oh my God, I feel like crap when I'm in my car. And one of my medical devices has a scanner where you could pick up electromagnetic fields. And so I thought, okay, well, let me grab that thing. And I turned it on, and this thing was just screaming, right? Because I'm like bathing in these electromagnetic fields that are not bio-friendly, right? They're using frequencies that aren't really designed to bioharmonize with your body, but are there for a different reason. And like, so I had to actually like pull out fuses in my car, so just to turn stuff off. But one thing I've noticed, and like that's become a big problem for me, is my cell phone. So I can actually tell when I have my location on. Now, let's say I'm driving somewhere and I go from point A to point B, and I use my location, but it's off my body. And sometimes I'll grab my phone and I'll go somewhere wherever I'm going, and I forget to turn off the location. If I'm holding it, or even if it's in my pocket, I could feel the location. I could feel it burning me.
Ooh.
And so I have to actually go in and I turn everything off. I turn off the Bluetooth, I turn off the location, I turn off even the mobile data when I can, and then I could deal with it. But if the location is on specifically, I cannot hold that phone. Like, I'll feel it. It'll pierce through my hand.
So let me
you
answer
show
this
us
question.
on that, Raj? Sorry, Naima. Can you show us where that is for how to do the location services?
Well, it depends on what kind of phone you have, but
What do you have?
I have I actually have two phones now, by the way. So I have both the iPhone and the Android. But the Android typically has a menu that you can just kind of pull down.
Okay.
And there's usually a little toggle where you could turn the location on and off.
Okay. And then if I have an iPhone, do I go to settings?
Yeah, so it's a little bit harder to do it through the iPhone. You actually have to go to your settings. You have to type in privacy.
Got
And then
it.
you go into privacy, and it's like hidden. It's like layers in, and there's location. So you turn off the location, and I only use it when I need to. I don't keep it on because it's like I can't even be around it. Like I could be, if it's off my body, it's fine, or maybe not. It doesn't bother me as much. But if it's close to my body, I can feel it, and it's like, okay, I gotta turn that thing off.
So I have a question regarding what you were feeling in your car. Are there specific things that we turn on in our cars that create that? Is it say if we turn the GPS on in the car, or turn the radio on in the car, or the air conditioning, or lights on? I mean, what did you discover that was on in your car that was creating electromagnetic waves, so that people can know, well, maybe I need to turn this off when I get in the car, you know?
Well, it depends on your car. So it depends on your car. But my car had hotspot, Wi-Fi hotspot. I mean, it had a cell phone, a hotspot. It's got GPS, its own GPS, right? That's always on. So like, I don't really use the computer, the GPS I use my phone GPS versus my car GPS.
Car GPS.
And then the Wi-Fi, I mean, the hotspot is just on. It's like, why I'm not even using it. It's not connected to a service. It's just you blowing out frequencies. And so if you have one of those cars that does have that, I would suggest you turn it off.
Well, turn it off, and there are neutralizers for the car. So I actually offered neutralizers for the car and for the home. They're not expensive. But I like the idea of turning it off, right, Raj? Because, but you still need neutralizers for the home and your car. And here's why. What about the guy driving next to you?
Well, here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. So now what we're seeing is, these systems that kind of keep you in the lane and warn you when you're this and that. So all that is radar. So now you're driving down the highway or whatever, and all these cars have radar. Okay?
All those waves coming into your body.
You're getting hit, and now you're actually so I also what you mentioned, Naima, being in a car, right? It's essentially a Faraday cage. You're surrounded by metal, right? You have these frequencies coming in, and they're bouncing off all the metal, right? And so it creates like this environment that electromagnetically can be toxic to you. Now, one thing you can do is support your body to better defend against it, because let's face it, we're like completely surrounded by an electromagnetic soup, right? From radio waves to Wi-Fi to 4G to 5G to 6G's coming next, who knows what, right? Radar, this, and this, and that. So that's why I love tools like the Healy, is because you can walk around, and there are other, there's tools like this, right? Where you can create a field around you. You can create where you can help to bring your cells kind of back into balance to where they can defend themselves a little bit more efficiently, right? If they're constantly under attack, they don't have a chance to, let's call it,
to regroup.
Right? So you give them a respite, you give them support, and that at least allows your body a fighting chance, right? So you have to support your body in that way, and that's why things like, I tell people, there's some people that are purists about like food and the things they eat and all that. And I get that, right? And I think, I don't know if we need to go that far. Maybe we should, but it's hard to do. And so I'm of the belief that if you do about 70 right, and then maybe 25 to 30%, you could cheat a little bit, unless you have a major issue. If you've got a diagnosis, right, then you got to just go 100% or as much as you can.
Focus on fixing that. Well, now think certain devices that are very common now, like the self-starter car, where you're starting your car by sending a signal, and you might be through walls, through people, everything. So we have people doing this all day long, sending beams through the air, through our bodies. Is there any indication that a person might be physically responding to all that electromagnetic energy, like extreme fatigue, or maybe if there's a room in your house where you go in there and suddenly you get this desire to lay down and take a nap, you're just instantly drained? What are some of the signs that you might be overwhelmed with electromagnetic rays going through your body all the time?
Well, so great question. Canary in the coal mine here, right? So I was walking with my girlfriend Kristen in the park last week, Thursday, and both of us got like stress in the frontal lobe because we're both empaths. And I know that there were like 5G towers right around there. I could feel it. So you'll feel that. You'll feel, for no reason, you'll have stress in your brain, or maybe a pain will come up that you don't normally have, or I'm sure there's things that Raj would add to that, or anxiety, depression. You'll leave that area, and all of a sudden the anxiety or depression kind of goes away.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things. I think it depends on the person, but fatigue is a big one, right? So feeling really, really tired and drained. Anxiety could be another issue, but brain fog is another one where like you don't feel clear.
Can't remember things.
Yeah. Right. It's like hard to even like focus and concentrate. Migraines. Some people will get migraines, and sometimes it's a little sound that you hear in your ear. Like you start to get these sounds, like this piercing sound. So there's some people that do pick up on that part of it too, and it's like, and that's a good indication, oftentimes, that you're being exposed to something, and that you're picking up on it audibly, on some level, right? So, so we live in an environment that's really just it's a toxic soup of electrosmog. And I don't.
I gotta remember that one. That's a good one. But that's so just like if you're breathing smog because the air is always polluted, and I've been to countries where everybody wears a mask even before Corona because like in places in China where they have a lot of factories and smog just polluting the air all the time, people wear a filter. So is there anything like an energy filter? I know we got to go to break, and maybe you can answer it afterwards. Something like an energy filter that you can wear or have on you or with you or on your body all the time, so that you can filter out all the negative energy that's coming in.
Absolutely. I sell a lot of these energy solutions on Suson Essentials because I'm so energy sensitive. But we can go to commercial break, and we can come back. We talk about solutions. I'd like to talk about the research. I'd like to talk about the disclosure that's on your Apple phone. Oh yeah, people, they're letting you know. You're just not seeing it.
Wow.
Yeah, they have to cover themselves legally,
Mm.
but it's in the fine print that you don't really. Most people don't go that far.
Read it, right?
Yeah.
But if you do, they can say, "Well, see, we told you it's right there."
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see if we can go to commercial break here. So there we go. We'll do that one because I can't remember which one to do. Sorry,
That's okay. That's okay. You're fine. They'll all get done.
These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Viyahta. Everything you need with your body is found in nature. So Suson Essentials doesn't do it any other way. Suson Essentials provides your employees and individuals access to over 20,000 nutritional products, and they are shipped direct to your door. Because Suson Essentials is certified in plant-based healing, we're permitted to offer you the best nutritional supplements on the planet. They're non-GMO and sustainably produced, and we take the guesswork out for you. Let Suson Essentials help you take control of your health today. Hey, it's time to take charge of your health. I'm Viyahta, your holistic life coach, and every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm here on the Female Solution to empower you to make choices that will assist your evolution to abundant health. I'm also blogging every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at Soul Purpose Healing, where I bring you a spiritual chiropractic adjustment to bring you back into alignment with our Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. Join me every Friday morning at 8 a.m. and Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for a time of unity, enlightenment, and love vibration. Shalom. the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution.
With a simple blood test and food plan, one assessment will help your business, your family, eliminate toxins, and create a step-by-step plan to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Click here to learn more.
So we are back, and I'm just going to let's see here. We're actually going to invite another guest here. So give me 1 second. Actually, Zelda Robinson is going to be joining us, and I will send that out to you in a second, that link, Zelda. And while I'm doing that, just want to say that it's so critically important to protect yourself from the electromagnetic frequencies. And there are ways to protect your home. You don't even think about it. It gets plugged into your wall, plugged into your car, using pillows, using the Healy. And I know a lot of people are concerned about spending money. And I'm just going to tell you this. You either spend the $80 now, or, whatever, or cost for a session on a Healy, or buying a Healy for yourself, or you're going to pay thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars later, or you're going to pay with your life.
So I got another question regarding that, because obviously as we learn more about what really affects our health, the unseen things such as energy, electromagnetic waves, and all of that, it would seem that the health care industry would adopt some of these new methods that are less invasive, that are more permanent in terms of really healing the condition. It would seem that the medical industry would be recommending these things more than the traditional surgeries and things that create even more problems. So, well, let me ask you, Raj, in your opinion, why do you think this isn't happening to the degree it could happen, so that people could actually be healed, as opposed to us constantly treating the symptoms of an illness and watching it escalate, as opposed to changing the energy so that the root of the problem is corrected? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's many reasons for that. One of them is, first of all, it's not widely accepted by the medical community, right? Not even recognized for the most part. The other part is it's big business, the telecoms and the whole it's not widely accepted by the medical community. So it's not widely accepted, and then also it's deeply entrenched in our society. The telecoms, the telecommunication, all the things that have been put in place are big time money makers for a lot of people. And to kind of revamp the system and do all that would threaten too many people financially. And so there's a lot of financial interest entrenched in keeping the system the way it is, both on the medical side and the non-medical side. And so I think we have to kind of take charge of our own space, our own lives, and what we can do, certain things that we can actually do for ourselves. We could still advocate for better systems, but that's a long-term strategy. It's not a short-term solution, because I think that's many, many years ahead. But for now, we have to take our responsibility. It's either we do it ourselves or it doesn't get done, quite frankly. And that's where we're at, unfortunately. And I don't see the medical system really promoting, teaching about this, right? Or really getting people up to speed on what they're being exposed to and how they can maybe mitigate some of that exposure.
Well, you know, Raj, it's really interesting, but in Anchorage, Alaska, there's a health system, and we're going to be talking about it on the show on April, I think it's April 13th, with the CEO of Orion Healthcare, Daryl Moon. And what they found is that your health consists of 25% science, right, which is the analysis, and 75% of what you do with it when you find out what the results are. And so he has a system out there that's in place and working and cost effective. And they're promoting what I promote, which is self-care, right? They're promoting what we're all talking about right here. You know, the things that are unspoken. Okay. Food is medicine. I don't know that they're talking about frequency yet, but I will tell you this. They're using frequency medicine at Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are there any medical facilities that are using these techniques? Is there anybody who is of this philosophy that maybe is establishing a school or something that's teaching the new healthcare philosophy of holistic health, energy healing, food is medicine, all of these things that people have to discover on their own after they've been botched up by the current system? But is there anybody that's institutionalizing this, I guess?
Yeah, so Shirley Ryan Ability Lab downtown Chicago was just doing a test on frequency and brain health. That was one of our second shows. Cleveland Clinic, Carolyn McMakin, Dr. Carolyn McMakin is leading the charge on frequency. Raj, I know you've got more. The Food is Medicine, Dr. Josh Axe, and also Cleveland Clinic. But Raj, why don't you pipe in and give your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, I think there are pockets of people here and there working on this level, right, where they're introducing frequency-based medicine. They're promoting healthy, clean eating, right? Clean supplementation, clean food, right? That food is your medicine, all that. So there is a bit of a groundswell, but it hasn't become mainstream yet. And so it does exist, and there are pockets. And I know the Cleveland Clinic is using frequency-based technology, right? And so there are places that are using it. There are places that are utilizing it. I think even Mayo Clinic's even looking at some of this stuff as well, right? Yes. However, it's not. They're usually a smaller scale kind of maybe study that they're working on, but they're not implementing that, on a broader scale for all their patients, right? Like, it should be something that should be a part of the normal kind of therapy and treatment. And I think it really needs to start with the insurance companies, because if the insurance companies said, "Hey, yeah, we'll cover that," then it's all about the money, right?
Right.
Okay?
So if insurance companies don't cover it, it's like it's not legitimate.
Well,
right.
But here's the thing: how long did it take for chiropractic care? So I just looked this up. So chiropractic care was founded September 18th, 1895.
What?
And it was, so my brother was a chiropractor. I think Zelda knows that. And Raj, you may know that. Naima, I don't know if you knew.
I didn't know that.
There was a chiropractor at a time when chiropractors.
Back pain, yes. Tell me.
Food, right? But he worked on some folks from the Chicago Bears, and he was highly successful. He was a fantastic doctor, and he went out to all the different races. I think it was like LaSalle Bank race, which is now a different bank, but like all the marathons downtown Chicago. And so chiropractors were not even recognized by the American Medical Association, and the American Medical Association was trying to put them out. I'm not making this up.
Wow.
Whoever the listening public is, I'm not going to do the research for you. You can do the research. Sorry.
Don't take my word.
You can look it up. This is not made up. This is true. And so, anything that goes against like the current reality, people have a natural inclination to go poo poo.
Yeah,
No,
miss it.
Right. So.
Wow.
Yeah, go. Right.
I look at all these.
Or I got to mute myself for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I look at all these healing methodologies that make so much more sense than what we're doing, and I mean, are all our systems so tied into making profits that they really just will not let people know that there is healing? There's healing for cancer and everything. They say, well, one day we'll find the cure. It's been done, I mean, all of these
donate to the cure. Will not, because the cure has been done. Alzheimer's has been reversed. Cancer has been cured.
Diabetes,
Parkinson, all of this done.
And they won't let people know.
No, and then they think that you're crazy because you're speaking truth, and it's so far from. They're afraid to trust food. I've had people say to me, well, I don't know that I can have cilantro. It may interfere with my medication.
Yeah, I hear that stuff.
Pulls out the heavy metals, people.
Yeah.
One of the things, there are many.
So how do you change a mindset of, I guess, a whole society that is geared towards sick care as opposed to repairing damage to cells? I mean, you speak of cell care, and if you repair the damage to your cells, then you remove the illness. This seems easy to understand, and yet it's been made to sound like it's something impossible. How do we take a very simple message and make it accessible so that everybody can make the choices that will restore their health?
So before we do that, answer that, I have lacked social skills today. My sister came on, Zelda Robinson, who I love and adore. And I was so excited. I pressed the button, brought her in, and thought the world should already know about that, right?
I just hear you. She's here.
She's here. So, Zelda, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. So, world.
No, not necessary.
Well, it's always nice to introduce people, like that, I lost my social skills. I'm sorry. It is not even, it's not even 9, so that's half my excuse. But
okay.
Zelda, who runs, who's a producer for the Higher Learning Network and has her show on Mondays.
Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the female solution, yeah.
The female solution and stress release. Well, Zelda, why don't you talk about a little bit what you do, and then we're going to circle right back to Naima, and then like that.
Hi, Raj. Hi, Naima.
Hi.
Thank you so much for allowing me to participate this morning.
Allowing? Are you flipping kidding me? Allowing?
That's the word that came to my mind, so that's what I said.
Mashugana. Do you know what mashugana means?
No.
So it's Yiddish for crazy.
Oh.
You have the word of my vocabulary. Thank you, Jodi.
Yeah, there's your vocabulary word for the day.
Say it again, Jodi.
What that's Italian.
Yeah, pronounce it again slowly so we got it. How do you say it?
Well, stenites is crazy in Italian. Mashugana.
Mashugana.
I don't even know how to spell it. I've been saying
Mashugana.
it for a child.
Shugana.
Yeah.
Shugana.
I got that one down.
Yeah, I've been called that a few times.
I need you.
Well, I've been called Shugana pretty much good portion of my life. So I'm used to it, honey. I am not offended. Anyway,
we've been called crazy.
As host of Monday Morning Mindfulness, and producer of the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, and Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19 and 24/7 on YouTube. Higher Learning TV show. I am honored to be among such healers this morning. And I was busy protecting my personal space this morning after coming back from that lovely experience we had with the first annual Women's Global Virtual, I can't even get the words right. First annual Global Women of Wonder Awards. So I'm sure Naima talked about this morning, but I'm just still on a high.
I haven't talked about it. No, I haven't talked about it yet.
I am still trying to soak up that experience because I am still on the airplane. I am so high in the sky right now. It's like I need Healy to bring me back down. And that's why I didn't come on until later. I was protecting my personal space this morning.
Amen, sister. I get
That experience that we had at what was the name of the city again? Altamont, Florida.
Altamont, Florida. Yes.
And we drove 30 miles to swim with the dolphins. I can't wait to get on my blog and share all those beautiful pictures and videos and things.
Sending love to Roxy, your new friend.
Oh, Roxy was our dolphin's name, and then her sister Maria came along later.
Oh, Roxy and Maria.
Roxy,
girl, I got plenty of pictures. You'll probably say Zelda. Okay, you can stop sending me pictures now.
All my oils just fell to the floor.
Oh, those oils that need to be mentioned. Everything happens for a reason. So oils that
they're saying, talk about us. That's what they're saying.
Talk about the oils. And speaking of oils, I didn't know that dolphins had that oil comes from some oils do come from dolphins. I didn't know that dolphins were medical.
They secrete it or what?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
And I didn't know that dolphins were medical intuitive like you, Jodi. I did not know that.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Because as we were getting in the water, the trainer said, if you have a hip replacement or if you have a knee replacement, and I asked her, I said, well, I've got 12 pins and 2 plates in my ankle. She says, yes, you can see that. She can sense that.
Wow.
She's a built-in Healy. How about that?
Right. I mean, so they've been, and I'm not an expert on this. I just remember this for decades that dolphins have a very
psychic,
intuitive capability.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, very intuitive. Yeah.
So that was a powerful experience. So I just had to say that. But I have my Healy on. I haven't had it on in 4 days. Can you see that? I had it on in 4 days because I didn't take it with me. No, I didn't take it with me. I did not want to take a chance on TSA saying anything about my Healy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to take that.
Confiscating it. Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah. I would have had. I would have not. It would not have been nice. What was that?
I was asking Raj if he had an issue traveling to Florida when he.
No, I've traveled many times with it, and it's not a problem. They won't even ask me about it.
Okay, not and specifically if it's not on, you don't want it on because you don't want it blinking. Okay, ma'am, can you step over here to the side here, please? Yeah, okay. So I wasn't having that, so I left it at home. And then when I get up this morning, the when you turn your cell phone on and you try to figure out which one you want to use, it was already on what I needed, which was for my eyes. Why that is because I had salt and sugar don't work well with me together.
Oh,
and I ate cookie, and I ate a bag of potato chips. So the universe is, girl, we need to work on your eyes today. So I'm working on the eyes as we speak. So thank you very much. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So I'm left you guys a message. I am needed in another room that has, a sink and another basin. Biological.
We got 5 more minutes to the break, so we'll
carry on. I think if I stop my cam, it just then you guys, let's see what happens. Let's just test this real quick.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
I'm so glad this is on personal energy because personal energy has a lot to do with personal space. And a lot of times, many times, most times, so many of us allow people into our personal space and they just don't deserve the right to be there. And we just let them stay there and let them linger. and we wonder why we have the feelings that we have. This because their energy does not connect with our energy.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about that a bit earlier about how sometimes you have to remove people from your life, or at least choose not to be around them, because they're bringing your energy down. They can change your whole mood, and they literally are affecting the cells in your body. And if you're not able to bring them up, and I think Rod, you were saying, or was it Jodi that was saying, sometimes you have to balance, because you're up here and they're down here, and you're trying to meet them where they are, but I mean, you got to come down some. They might come up a little bit, but then you got to come down some. And maybe you don't want to keep coming down.
Right. So the energy is always trying to find a balance, right?
Yes.
Just like a water level, right? We'll always find that
it seeks its own level. So now, so Raj, in your opinion, like if you're in a relationship with someone and maybe you're going through, you know, all kinds of spiritual renewal and awakenings and all of this, and so you're on this high, like we were on all weekend in Florida, just, you know, talking to the trees and everything, just way up there, you know, and then you come back to people who didn't have that experience, and they're complaining and they're angry and all of this, and you're trying to relate, but then you don't want to have to come all the way down. How do you deal with that? Do you just kind of avoid those people? Like Zelda said, I need to just protect my space. I mean, what do you do in those situations when you've reached that high and you don't want that to come back down? Do you just avoid people? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, so you take responsibility for your own emotional space, right? And your own kind of headspace. Now, here's the thing. If you're in a relationship and, you know, one person's evolving, the other one is not, that's a problem, right? Mm-hmm. Because at some point, that's going to cause a massive amount of friction.
Especially if it's at home.
Oh, yeah.
The ideal thing is to at least both be moving in the right direction. It doesn't have to be on the same level per se, but as long as there's movement in that direction, then there's you know, you grow together, right?
Right.
You know,
ideally, that's what should happen.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah. And so, you know, at some point, you either okay, for a short period of times, you can deal with it, right? You can kind of try to nourish and bring that person along, but there may come a time where you say, hey, clearly there's an incompatibility here.
Yeah, right? I gotta move on.
You gotta move on, right? It depends on how invested you are in the relationship and what you value, right? And there's always a compromise. You have to, I mean, let's face it, we're always compromising, right? And so you have to figure out, either let me carve out a space where I can do what I want to do, but still be engaged in the relationship. If I can do that in a way to where there's some back and forth, right? Hey, you give me a little bit, I'll give you a little bit, we'll work together, right? Mm. But you need that two-way dialogue to have that. And you know, if it's just a one-way deal, then, you know, it may be time just to say, all right, well, it's time to go.
And I think, like you say, it depends on how invested you are. I've known couples maybe been together 10, 15 years, and one may really be growing, evolving. Maybe they've had a lot of different experiences. Maybe they're reading a lot of books, and they're hanging around a whole different crowd of people. Maybe the other one just is kind of stuck where they are. And, you know, the person who is growing is, they're kind of in a conflict. I promised, especially if you're married, I promised to love, honor, and respect this person forever until we die.
Sure.
The way they are is making me feel dead inside. I'm trying to fly, and they're the ball and chain is holding me to the ground. Do I stay down here on the ground with them, or do I cut this ball and chain? Do I saw this chain so I can fly? And then sometimes people feel guilty ending a long-term relationship because part of the culture has been there's something shameful about divorce. You failed. You have a failed marriage. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people are feeling like, oh, God wants me to stay, but they're dying inside. They're not growing, and they're believing that that's what they should do is stay. But this other person, they're stuck. That's where they are. That's where they're going to be until they clock out of here. And you're trying to elevate, and you can't, because maybe you don't have any conversation in common anymore. You know, you're not enjoying the same things anymore. You're just living in the same house, but you can't even enjoy your house because you're just not on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So here's the thing. None of this is black and white. It's lots of shades of different colors, right? And for each person, each couple, or each relationship, it's going to be slightly different, right? If there is some things you can agree upon and work on, then great. If you have that commitment, then go with that, work on that, right? Because there's always that potential to bring them along, right? To help them grow. And sometimes we need to lead by example. So I've heard it said that the easiest and the best way to change someone else is to change yourself. Right? And people just respond to you, right? So first and foremost, take responsibility for you, right? Own who you are, be in your true higher self, and oftentimes those people will kind of maybe come along, but there also is a point where you say, okay, I'm clearly on one path and they're on a different path, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So a fallacy that I believe that we've adopted as a society, and I think there's reasons for it, good reasons for it, but that really no longer apply. In many ways, it's kind of like, we developed strategies early on when we're young, right? That were the mechanisms of self-defense, so to speak, survival mechanisms that supported a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old, but no longer support a 30 or 40-year-old.
Mm.
But we've still held on to that belief, or whatever it is, that strategy that no longer serves us. It's an outdated strategy. You need to get rid of it and bring in a new strategy for what's relevant to you now. So part of that is, this idea that I'm a failure, especially when it comes to women, because women really put a lot of value on their relationships more than men tend to do, right? So that's how they kind of
their success or failure in life,
right? Like that's how they value themselves.
Yeah.
They value themselves through their relationships, the quality of their own relationships with the people that they have around them, which is wonderful, right? However, we've been conditioned to believe that if there's always an outcome that is needed for it to be successful, and I would say it's not the outcome that determines whether it's successful or not. It's the journey. So sometimes we are in a relationship for a season.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's just for a season. It served us for this time. But maybe you do part ways, but that does not mean it was a failure. It was a blessing. It served you. It did something for you. It moved you to where you are now.
Right.
Right. And so we need to do away with that expectation that the end result has to be this. Mm-hmm. Right. It's this rigid way of thinking that if it's not that, then it's failure. Right.
Well, and
yeah, I know we got to take a break, Jodi. I don't want to.
Oh no, you're right. Sorry. So
yeah.
Let's see. And yeah. So thank you for that reminder. Let's see if we can get those commercials. Oh, how about well, how about you keep talking until I find it?
Yeah. Well, I got my switchboard. If you want, I can do it.
Okay.
Everything you need, what your body needs, is found in nature. So Suson Essentials doesn't do it any other way. Suson Essentials provides your employees and individuals access to over 20,000 nutritional products, and they are shipped direct to your door.
See if any of your callers want to press one if they got something to say.
In plant-based healing, we're committed to offer you the best nutritional supplements on the planet. They're non-GMO and sustainably produced, and we take the guesswork out for you. Let Suson Essentials help you take control of your health today.
That's right. She got hers.
We all
There we are.
But wealth isn't determined by how much money you have. Wealth is determined by your power to define what money is. The dictionary defines money as something used as a way to pay for goods and services and to pay people for their work. So how would you like to have access to an unlimited source of money? Money that is not taxed by the government. Money that increases as you share the opportunity with others. Money that you can use to pay for goods and services and pay people for their work. I'm talking about Bitcoin. It's the future of independent wealth building. Bitcoin is the new money that you control. Get started building your wealth. Call 312-849-3456. That's 312-849-3456. We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
With a simple blood test and food plan, Suson Essentials will help your business, your family, and you eliminate toxins and create a step-by-step plan to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Click here to learn more. With a Place of Peace pop-up from Suson Essentials, you are able to increase productivity, mental acuity, leaving you with higher energy and peace in just 20 minutes. We pop up at our office or yours.
Okay, we are back on self-cell care. We're talking about protecting your personal energy. This is the Female Solution Blog Talk radio show. We have Rajai Kaldani, Naimah Latif, and Zelda Robinson. And this has been a great conversation today. We've covered so many topics relative to energy. We've talked about essential oils. We've talked about grounding. We talked about creating bubbles to protect your energy and bringing in your spirit guides. We talked about using devices to protect your energy, Healy devices, electromagnetic frequencies, and how they impair our health and brain fog, and how easy it is to support yourself just by plugging things into the wall. We've talked about relationships and energy and how those can either increase your energy or suck it away. So have I missed anything, folks?
I think that was it.
So where do you guys want to take it now? What sings to you?
Well, I think Roger, you were saying about the our realizing that sometimes things are just for a season, and it doesn't mean it's a failure if it ends, if it served its purpose, which was maybe to move us forward or help us change the direction. And so this person might just have served that purpose, but it doesn't mean they were supposed to be a permanent part of our lives. And we have to stop thinking that we have failed if something ends. And like you were saying, women tend to be programmed to think that if a relationship ends, they are a failure. And there's still a lot of places around the world where divorce for a woman, it's highly stigmatized, like no other man wants to marry her and all that sort of thing. And she's stigmatized, and and all of those ways of thinking have to be erased because they are no longer relevant. But culturally, a lot of people are still holding on to that belief system. So how do we get rid of that? How do we not carry that on to the next generation of men and women who are trying to evolve into relationships and, get over what they feel is a failure if something ends?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, we need to evolve ourselves. So we start with ourselves. Again, you change the world by changing you. And as we evolve ourselves, and each one teach one, right? I'm a big fan of this concept of each one teach one. And as we grow, because we have our own outdated belief systems that we have to examine, right? I mean, who doesn't, right? I do, you do, we all do, right?
Right.
And so until we challenge those beliefs and say, hey, let's be honest with ourselves, let's really reflect. And that's the problem with today is in my opinion, is that there's so much outside stimulus coming at us that we don't spend much time inwardly reflecting on what's really real and what's true to us, right? We're so, preoccupied with the outside world that we kind of just hide from ourselves, right? And hide from like, hey, what can I do better? How can I do things better? How can I be more present with myself?
Well, thank you for the introduction. So,
you took the words out of my mouth, Jodi.
Yeah, right. So you know what I'm wearing, don't you,
Oh
Zelda?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's my favorite in the whole wide world. I gotta get one, Jodi. I had to get the Healy first, but it's coming.
Well, and we're gonna have him on the show, Dr. Frank Lawless, on the 23rd. So that's just gonna be amazing. There are a couple things. I want to talk about being present with yourself. How do you accomplish that? And to be present with yourself, you have to be self-aware. You have to first know that what's going on in your life is a repeat performance. Naima, you speak to that, right? So if we don't handle what's coming our way, spirit, God, whoever you want to call it, will have it show up for you again until you choose to address it.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you address something that triggers you? I have an answer for that. So this device, we talk about it just about every show, is the bioacoustical utilization device, the BOD. And, it just plugs in its sound frequency. And I'm actually going to turn the sound on. And I'm just going to show you real quick here. So for PTSD, you set it at 2 and 2 up here, these two knobs. And then these two knobs here are volume, right? You make it as loud or as you want. And I'm hoping you can kind of hear this. I don't know where to put this. Can you hear a buzzing noise at all or not?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have it on full blast. Don't ever do that and hold it to your ears. Keep it lower, but we don't have it at my ears right now. So it's white noise, right? And this device was created by a doctor. It's FDA cleared. And it does a reset on the neural network of the brain.
Wow.
What does that mean really to you? Those are great big words. What does that really mean? What that means is if Raj looks like someone, or Zelda looks like someone, or Naima looks like someone I know, and I get triggered by them, I can bring up that memory, wear the bod, get a pad and paper, okay? I can either think about it or write about it. Okay, if you write about it, I will tell you it's more powerful.
Get it out of you.
With a pencil, by the way. Yeah. So, and what it does, you don't lose the memory. You lose the trigger. If Raj says something, or Raj doesn't show it, Raj and I have plans and Raj doesn't show up and I get triggered, versus just having some compassion that something else came up, right? Which is really the right thing to do. I would still get triggered anyway. So, spoiler, I haven't erased that little sucker. Hey, I am so human. Damn, that sucks. Just gonna say. But when you can take events, and reverse your trigger to it, you don't lose the memory. That's a powerful place to be. They're using this device in addiction centers.
Wow.
Yep.
Because certain things happen that can trigger a person to go and get a drink or go and do drugs and use like some stressor or whatever. And then, so that to help that not happen.
Plus, there's a lot of toxins in alcohol because it's made with wheat that has glyphosate in it.
Oh.
Right? That's addictive. What about cigarettes?
Jodi, what did you say? What has?
Well, alcohol has glyphosate in it unless it's organic.
Oh, glyphosate. I got to look that one up.
Well, glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup.
Oh.
Which is sprayed on the wheat crops before they serve it to you.
Oh.
Wow.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So eating wheat bread isn't necessarily all that healthy.
It's actually really bad for you, especially.
I am a witness that eating wheat bread is not healthy to you. I'm sitting in
the
doctor's office.
Wheat and all up.
And there is a magazine, a yoga magazine, as a matter of fact. I'm sitting in the doctor's office probably 30 years ago for an ENT, ear, nose, and throat issue. And there's a yoga journal sitting right next to me, and I open it up and I'm reading it.
Oh.
The first thing that it said was, if you have ear, nose, and throat issues, stop eating wheat. I told that to the ENT specialist. He says, I don't believe everything you read. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try it on my own and see. I stopped eating wheat for a week and all my sinus issues cleared up. I'm just saying.
Wow.
That hurt me against the medical professional.
They don't
because he wasn't open.
Just a little bit.
Well, he wasn't open, Dolly. He wasn't open to hearing something different than what he was trained in med school.
What he was trained in Western medicine, and Western medicine is not always the answer. So I'm very glad I had that experience. But I got to go back to about the glyphosate in alcohol and wheat bread.
Oh, yeah. People are peeing that out. You go to Europe, they were just look up glyphosate, beer, and then I think it was Germany or Europe, whatever. I mean, I think they banned it now in Europe. Raj, are you familiar?
Yeah, so in Europe, they have much more stringent laws about using things like Roundup.
Wow.
But yeah, so they glyphosate is, by the way, it wasn't initially used as a herbicide.
Let's go one more step back. It was actually glyphosate was used to pull minerals out of pipes.
Ooh.
So now, this is why it's so important when so I sell a water filtration system, and I'm sorry, Raj, I'm just going to pipe in real quick for a second. I'll bring it right back to you. I sell a water filtration system, and I know a lot of people, I want reverse osmosis. I want everything out. No, you don't. You do not want everything out. You want all the toxins out. You want the glyphosate out. You want the arsenic out. You want all those things out of your water supply, but you want the minerals in because your body is already mineral deficient because we have all been exposed to glyphosate, and glyphosate was originally used in to pull minerals out of pipes.
So is there a beer substitute or alcohol substitute like wine or whatever?
Well, it's just the
That's
substitute is organic. That's your substitute.
Can you buy organic beer?
Oh, heck yeah. And organic wine. Anybody needs a resource, send me a message at jodi@susonessentials.com. You can messenger me on LinkedIn or Facebook. You know, try not to do Instagram. I'm not that active there.
Okay, yeah. It's just one more app to do something. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Can I please share my testimony about the bar?
Sure.
Yes.
I was invited to Jodi's Center out in Goose Grease, Indiana, wherever it is, way out there in the suburbs somewhere. Palatine, yeah, nice out.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the drive, though. Let me say that I really enjoyed the drive. I enjoyed the greenery because I got this thing with trees going on. Right, I'm so in love with nature right now.
Yeah.
So I get there, and you tell me what I'm going to, what I may or may not experience, but the loud noise, the white noise, and the bright lights, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I gotta see how this is going to work because I got this eye issue thing going on here. As a child, I was told I was this close to being legally blind.
Wow!
Thanks to that doctor, and I can still see today. But when Jodi said when you after this treatment, you will have a whole nother living experience, and I'm like, okay, I'm open and receptive to that. So after
whatever you say, lady.
After the treatment, light has always been bright light has always been an issue for me. So after the treatment, there's this light, bright as hell, and not that hell is light. It's so bright and it's standing there in front of me, and I took my glasses off, and it's even worse when I take my glasses off. But after the treatment, I took the headphones off, and the light is in front of me, and I did not have an issue with the light. I could see, and I wasn't triggered, and it like blew my mind. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Am I still in my body? Is this real? So I said all that to say this. I can't wait to get a bod because I have never, ever in all my 60 plus years had the experience of having light shine really, 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 really bright in my eyes, and it didn't bother me.
Wow.
Phenomenal. So when you talk about the brain reset, it was reset in such a way that even now, I still have when light bright comes, it teeny weeny bit, but not like it did. Not like it did. That's why I said I've got to get the bar because that just freaked me out. I didn't think I was in my body. I thought I was in somebody's body who had 20/20 vision and didn't even need glasses. How is this possible in 20 minutes or however long it was? And then she gave me another session. It's like, oh, this is wonderful. I love it. So I have to have a bar. It's just a matter of time, but I'm going to get it very soon. Notice the accent on the very, very soon. I mean, it just makes a difference in how you see. If your vision is important to you, and my vision is important as I'm sure everyone else.
Well, I would love to have my vision corrected, and I'm sure that everything that is out of whack can be corrected if we just discover the ways that are available. And
that brain reset.
Yeah.
That throw that trigger in another direction. It's like it was a trigger, but it's not a trigger now.
Yeah, because we have these interferences, whether it's our body seeing pistachios, for instance, as a predator and causing inflammation, right? And having activity. There's a person who I helped. He was sensitive to pistachios. He ate the pistachio, wore the bod, and in 20-25 minutes, the sensitivity was gone, and he eats pistachios all the time.
Wow. That's what Raj said. 25%. Was it you, Raj, who said 25% is the analysis, 75% is what to do with it?
Oh, we're cutting out.
Yeah, I went on this broadcast.
Say that again. You cut out.
I said, was it Raj that said 25% is the science, the analysis?
I think that was Jodi.
25% what you do with the results. Oh, that was you, Jodi? Okay.
75% is what you do with the information. 25% is the scientific information. 75% of what is what you do with the information. Something like that.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that in depth. But Raj, let's go back to you. We have 5 minutes, and I want to give you a few of those because I know we have to kind of give a rundown. Which actually, Naima, I'm going to let you give that rundown for next week because I have my piece of paper here. So, or Zelda.
Happens.
So go ahead, Raj.
Okay, so was there a question? I'm sorry.
Well, you were saying about you were talking. Oh, forgive me, I'm having a brain fart. I thought you were just speaking about energy and food and glyphosate and Germany, and we were.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So I was just going to support what you mentioned. You know that essentially glyphosate was used to actually clean out industrial chimneys in factories, and how they came about it, right, is they were taking the solution and dumping it out into the fields, and they noticed that it was killing all the grass and all the plants where they were dumping. And that's when they realized that, hey, we could probably use this as an herbicide. And so they reclassified it and, essentially started using it with things like Roundup, right, to kill weeds and all that, and they've genetically modified plants to resist it, right? But what it does is it robs your body because it'll bind with minerals and strip your body of minerals. And
wow.
To Jodi's point earlier, that you want those minerals, and I think most people are mineral depleted, and that's why it's super important to actually have high quality mineral supplementation, and because we're not getting what we need from our food, and if we are getting it, then if we're ingesting glyphosate, which most of us are, 99% of us, we're getting it. If it's in the food, it's kind of everywhere. It's robbing our bodies it's robbing the minerals from our bodies. And so we need to help compensate and counter that.
That's why I drink sea moss every day, and I learned sea moss drink because sea moss has all those minerals in it. And
I take a ton of minerals. Matter of fact, I have right here. So I keep this where I work. It's organo iodine drops. And when I get brain fog, I just take some drops and I put it under my tongue because I'm so mineral deficient. And I eat organic, and I'm still mineral deficient. So,
all the years of the toxic chemicals that we've been eating unorganic. So yeah, the buildup is there.
Totally.
Yeah. So I think we're winding out and about to end. But did you want Raj to give information about where?
Yes, please, Raj. How do people contact you, and especially about your new marketplace?
Absolutely. Yeah. So one thing, wellness is about a lot of things, and stress is the biggest thing, right? How do you manage stress? Now, one thing I've learned, and which is true with most people, is one of the biggest stressors is money, right? Well, what if there was a way for you to start earning money from doing the things that you're already doing? And we actually are working with a company that's rolling out a new marketplace that's going to compete with Amazon, but will allow you to make money from buying the things that you love and you use and sharing that with people that you know. And so if you'd like a little bit more information on that, you can reach out to me at 847-754-8555, or you can email me at rkaldani, that's KALDANI, at use, that's USE, .startmail, start, and then mail. So START, mail, MAIL.com. And it's an amazing program that we believe will bring a lot of people new opportunity in this new world that we're living in. And yeah, I mean, if you can take care of that stressor in your life, well, that can allow you to free up to work on other things that are more important.
Yeah, and I'm already signed up for it, as is Zelda. Naima, we got to get you going.
Yes.
I'm glad you said that as an alternative to Amazon, because Amazon is not the place you want to be.
Absolutely.
No, I could go on about that, but
But we won't.
we won't. No, I know.
As
No.
Granny used to say, if you don't have anything good to say about anybody, just don't say anything.
Right. So we're just going to give you an alternative.
Give you an alternative. Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So thank you
And
very
you can
much.
make a lot of money at the same time.
Thank you.
So
and they're
just
not taking money from you.
I just want to thank everybody, though, as we wrap up. I know the radio is done, but we are live, and I want to thank everybody for coming on to the show. Zelda, you are all really a bright light in my life, right?
We are a great light in each other's lives.
Yes, we're all illuminating and adding to the collective illumination of the planet.
Yeah, and some days are easier than others. So, and you guys have all been there for me on those days that are good and the days that are not so good. So thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for challenging. But let's make sure that we all tune in tomorrow. You're on, Naima, right?
Yes, and I'll be on. And on Wednesdays, myself and my co-host Kareem Hamid, we address a particular issue that a couple is having and assist them in considering ways they may resolve it so that they can keep their family ties. And that's what we do on Wednesdays, repairing broken family ties. So join us tomorrow as we address another couple's issue, and it might be yours. So
do you know what issue you're covering tomorrow? Or I have several.
We'll be tuning in, won't we, Jodi?
Well, we are talking about an issue of long-term commitment. And as we mentioned today, sometimes when you are not at the same level, at what point do you let it go? There's a couple who's been together for 25 years, and one of them is developing themselves, restarting a new career, developing new interests. The other one isn't. And there is a fear of getting a divorce. They have several children, they have properties together, but one of them is feeling extremely restricted and unfulfilled, but also was raised in a very strong religious background that says you do not divorce. If you do, you're a failure. So this is what she is struggling with. And so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Well, are you honoring yourself if you're staying in a relationship that's no longer really feeding you? And are you helping that other person when you're in the house being miserable because they can't feel joy if you're resentful? And the children also feel the non-love. So when is divorce the best decision? And how do we do it without thinking of ourselves as being a failure?
Well, yeah, and then the other question is, which I always present to people when they're telling me about that type of situation, is what are you teaching your children?
Yes.
That's a good point. What are you teaching your children?
Okay, my husband is home. I haven't seen him in 4 days, so I got to go hug him and then go hug some trees because I'm just
love you. And then Raj, before we go, just real again to reach out to Raj about this opportunity to participate in a new marketplace, great prices, shipped to your door, easy access. Call Raj, 847-754-8555. Email him, rkaldani@use.startmail.com. Raj and I go back a long time. He is a trusted partner. So you don't have to worry. If what he has to tell you resonates with you, go for it. If it doesn't resonate with you, find out the next thing he's doing because he's always got something good.
Right.
Just say, right?
That's good.
That doesn't work. Find something else. It'll work. Something. He's got something for you.
You know what? There's
He's a Scorpio, man. He's he's a rainmaker. I'm just gonna say.
so check this out. Scorpio sun. My ascending is Aquarius, and my moon is Pisces.
Well, all righty. You just know all your signs.
Okay.
Know thyself. Know thyself,
There
man.
you go.
Rising
You
in
are so
Oh
funny.
my God.
You know all your signs. All right. So on that note, know your signs. Thank you for tuning in, and let's see. And I think that's it. I think we're gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna put up my banner, or not my banner, but my brand thing, so we can end this video because I don't really know how I'm doing this, but we'll just figure
In
it
the
out.
words of Bugs Bunny, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks. All right.
See you next time.
Namaste. Okay.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Take care.
Bye.